Hey guys, the topic of today is various planetary transit happening within the month of April. Now the point is, I put up a video on Rahu and Ketu transit a couple of days back, and now Jupiter has moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius a day or two ago. Now it is good and useful to put up a single video on an individual planetary movement, but that is too generic in nature. So I make use of the natural zodiac because I don't have the privy to your individual horoscopes, right? But what is more important and useful is to look at the cumulative impact of all the planetary movements taking place within a short span of time. It is a synthesis of the mutual impact, the cumulative impact of all the planets. So with that intent, I am putting up this video which will talk about the cumulative impact of all the planetary movements taking place within this short span of April. Right. So with this kind of backdrop, let's get started. Okay, so the month of April, at the top place, what is that? Which is the natural zodiac. As you already know by my videos, that the most practical way to put up such videos, which are anyways generic in nature, is to make use of natural zodiac or the Kalpurush chart, in which the first house is always Aries. So keeping that in mind, I'll try to put across various planets which are in the zodiac belt. Let's have a look at those planets where they are posited as at April 1st and where they will move during this course of the month of April. So as at April 1st morning, if you look at first house of the natural zodiac, which is Aries, we don't have any planet. But during the course of the month, somewhere around 15th of April, 14th of April, Sun will be moving from Pisces to Aries, right? It will straight away move into the Ashwini Nakshatra, whose lord is Ketu. Now, moving to the second house, Taurus. As at 1st of April, we have Mars posited in Taurus. And throughout the month of April, no other planet will be posited into Taurus but for Mars. Mars will continue to be in Taurus throughout the month of April. The only difference it will undergo, that as at April 1st, it is under the nakshatra of Kritika, which is nakshatra of Sun. It will move from Kritika to Rohini, which is the nakshatra of Moon, and then from Rohini it will move to nakshatra of Mrigashira, which is its own nakshatra. But it will continue to stay in the sign of Taurus. Gemini. Now Gemini and Sagittarius, the talk of the town, these two signs, aren't they? Well, in Gemini, I'm not talking about Moon because Moon will continue to touch various signs that I'll discuss a bit later separately. Now in Gemini, Rahu is posited at this point in time, and Rahu is in Punarvasu Nakshatra, which is ruled by Jupiter. And Rahu will continue to be in Gemini throughout the month of April. Now, no other planet will get into Gemini apart from Moon. Yeah. Then Cancer, no planet posited as at 1st of April. No planet will enter into Cancer throughout the month. Leo, same as Cancer. No planet posited, no planet will touch Leo apart from aspects and all. No planet will actually get into Leo throughout the month of April. Virgo, same as Cancer and Leo, no planet will get into Virgo, no planet is posited. Libra, same as Cancer, Leo, Virgo and Libra. Now Scorpio. So as at April 1st, there is no planet in Scorpio. But mind you, as you already know by now, Jupiter, which has moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius on 29th of March night, now by 10th of April it will be retrograded, and by 24th of April it will be pushed back to Scorpio. So we'll have Jupiter entering into Scorpio from Mula Nakshatra of Ketu to Jyeshtha Nakshatra of Mercury, right? But that will take place after 24th of April. So till 24th of April, no planet in Scorpio. Sagittarius, now there are at this point in time, as on April 1, we'll have three planets. One, Ketu, right? Ketu is currently in positive throughout the month of April, and then we have Jupiter, which is Mula Nakshatra, Nakshatra of Ketu, and then Saturn. Saturn too will remain in Sagittarius throughout the month of April. Saturn is currently in Purvashada Nakshatra, the Nakshatra of Venus, mutual friends, and it will continue to stay in the same Nakshatra throughout the month of April, but it will be retrograded towards the end of the month, 29th of April. For that, I'll put up a video on the planetary movements in the month of May. We'll discuss Saturn's retrogression in that video. Right. Now, Capricorn, as of now, as at 1st of April, no planet posited, no planet entering into Capricorn throughout the month of April. This is as per the natural zodiac, just to remind you. It is not as per your individual horoscope, but as per the natural zodiac. Aquarius. As at 1st of April, we have Venus, we have Mercury, posited in Aquarius. But during the course of the month, somewhere around 11th or 14th of April, both first Mercury will move from Aquarius to Pisces, and then Venus will follow Mercury. It will move from Aquarius to Pisces. And Pisces, as at April 1st, we have Sun posited, but at around mid of the month, it will move from Pisces to Aries. That is the basic structure of planetary position throughout the month of April, right, as per the natural zodiac. Now, what are our takeaways? How can we make use of this synthesis? This is only factual information. What is to our advantage? Well, point number 1. The talk of the month, the aspect as per the natural zodiac between 3rd and 9th house, which is the Mercury and Sagittarius. Because Rahu, Ketu are there, now Jupiter has moved into Sagittarius, Saturn is already placed in Sagittarius. Before I talk about that, just a sec, before that, there will be a lot of discussion going on, a lot of debates going on. If Jupiter is moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius, which are the houses from which it will give impact? Well, as long as Jupiter is current, as per the current situation, as at 1st April, Jupiter is in Sagittarius. It is direct, it will give result only from Sagittarius and all the 3 houses which it is aspecting. 5th aspect, 7th aspect and 9th aspect. From April 10th, it will be retrograded. As per the simple fundamental principle, when a planets get retrograded, it starts giving impact from the previous house as well. So after 10th of April, in addition to the impact from Sagittarius, it will also give impact from the sign of Scorpio, the previous sign, 2 houses. But after 24th April, when it will move back to Scorpio, then it will be posited in Scorpio, retrograded. Then after 24th of April, it will give impact from the sign of Scorpio. And it is retrograded, it will be retrograded from the previous sign Libra as well. So after 24th April, it will not give any impact or any result from Sagittarius. This is very important point. Now, second point, is Jupiter happy as it moved from Scorpio to Sagittarius? Guys, this is not a video of Jupiter transit to Sagittarius, because that is something, a very big phenomena, very big event that will take place when it will transit to Sagittarius later during the course of the year. So this is a short-term phenomena. This is a video on the month of April, not on Jupiter's movement specifically. But the same question, is Jupiter happy after moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius? Well, prima facie it looks like, because Jupiter's own house is Sagittarius, apart from Pisces. And it has been looking forward to move to Sagittarius, specifically because in Scorpio it was posited in the sign from where it wanted to get moved on, and then it was undergoing a very lot of transformation. It was looking forward to move to Sagittarius. Let me tell you a simple analogy. Let's say you're based out of India, your permanent home is in India, and you're working in the USA at this point in time. Now you've been there working in USA for a couple of years, and you're longing to go back to your home, to meet your parents and stay there for a while. You get vacation and you book your tickets. As the distance is quite high, you intend to go by business class. But somehow things don't work in that way and you get the tickets of economy class. Fair enough, you feel, okay, at least I'll go back to my home. You board the flight and you reach home. A similar situation, Jupiter was in Scorpio. After 12 years, it was longing to go back to its own home, Sagittarius, right? Economy class is kind of a parallel in terms of the transformatory phase it was going into. It was not business class for Jupiter, it was going under transformation. A lot of struggle, a lot of challenges. And then, coming back to the same example, you reach home. After 2 or 3 days, couple of days, you're being told, hey, you've come home a bit early. A lot of things pending in US, you have to go back. You say, what? Are you serious? Before you are being given an opportunity of being heard, you are being pushed back, kind of turn that side. So Jupiter, 29th March, entered into Sagittarius. 10th of April, retrograde, turned back. And then after being pushing back, you are being forced to go back to the plane again, economy class, and again, US, to finalize or finish off the things which is pending. Again, Jupiter staying in Gandanta, it was not even moved away from Gandanta in Sagittarius, retrograde, 24th April, push back to Scorpio. Now, how will you feel? Now, astrology is not something which an astrologer could tell only. It is a very kind of a common sense as well. A lot of people are watching this video. Now, they might not have read any books on astrology, but basis the common sense, they can always tell and feel how a planet can behave in a specific scenario, like in this case. So you can decide yourself whether Jupiter will feel good or not in such a scenario, right? Now, the important point, the takeaway. If you look at your natal chart, right, I'll come back to the natural zodiac in a while. If you look at your natal chart, out of 12 houses, you see where your natal Jupiter and natal Saturn are placed. If there is any sort of conjunction or aspect exchange of houses between these two planets, now those houses become one of the most critical, one of the most important houses of your entire horoscope. Because as people say, as it is kind of scientifically proved, that unless Saturn and Jupiter both bless any specific house, no result can fructify without their mutual blessing, isn't it? Similarly, taking this forward to the natural zodiac in the current scenario in the month of April, currently in the month of April, Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct. From that aspect, natural zodiac perspective, 9th house, the house sign of Sagittarius, becomes really important, and 7th aspect, sign of Gemini, also become very important. Now, what do they represent? Obviously, Gemini represents a lot of things, but the most important thing is, which is relevant in this current context, is your self-effort. Communication is also relevant. I'll come to it a bit later. Self-effort will become really important. You have to put in a lot of efforts, regardless of your individual horoscope, right? Because the natural zodiac, its results are getting superimposed on everybody's life, right? And 9th house is because Jupiter is placed along with Ketu. You can watch my video on Rahu and Ketu to, it will tell you how Ketu will actually help us after a certain period of time. So Jupiter will actually push you to go in the right direction, and you will put in efforts. That is okay. But the point is, when will you get the result? Apart from these two houses where they are mutually impacting, Sagittarius and Gemini, now Saturn has other aspects, 3rd aspect and 10th aspect. Jupiter has 5th and 9th aspect. But what is the mutual house where they are aspecting together? That will take place after 24th of April, when Jupiter move back to Scorpio after getting retrograde, and it will start giving result from Libra. Then it will aspect house of Aquarius, sign of Aquarius, which is the 11th house from natural zodiac perspective. And Saturn sitting from Sagittarius will also aspect Aquarius, 3rd aspect. That 11th house will become in operation. Then the effort which you have been putting because of 3rd house in operation, and the direction of those efforts because of Jupiter was on the righteous path, you will get the result after 24th of April. That is a sign of relief. Need to put efforts, but caution. Though you will get the result after 24th of April, 11th house represents you again. Caution is Moon. Let's bring Moon into picture. Now, Moon will continue to transition throughout the zodiac in 27 days. As on April 1st, Moon is in the sign of Capricorn. Now, which are few days which are really critical for you? April 11th and April 12th, because on those 2 days, Moon will be in the sign of Gemini, on Rahu. And April 24th and 25th, Moon will be in the sign of Sagittarius, along with Ketu. Again Rahu-Ketu axis. So on these 4 days, you need to be really cautious. I've already shared some recommendation in my Rahu and Ketu video. You can look at that. But one of the key recommendation I'll reiterate, delay. Do not be impulsive. I've been getting a lot of emails and messages. I want to just put down my papers. Somebody who is in service industry. Guys, please hold on. Let the month of April pass by, specifically these 4 days, because you may be tempted to actually put down your papers, take some decision out of impulse. April 11th, 12th, April 24th, 25th. Please hold on. Don't take any impulsive decision. Let this period pass through, right? This is very, very critical for you. Now the second takeaway, basis the houses where Jupiter, because Jupiter where it is placed, regardless of it is Gandanta or whatever, its aspect will always be beneficial. So the Jupiter will also aspect your 4th house, right, after his move back to Scorpio. Then people who are under a tough time because of their mother, their health condition may also improve after 24th of April, because Jupiter's aspect, benefic aspect on 4th house, which is Cancer, which represents mother as per the natural zodiac. Yeah. Now, fine, we are moving through a tough time and a lot of cautions we need to adopt, but let's look at the Lagna as per the natural zodiac, because if Lagna is good, then a lot of things are sorted automatically, isn't it? So Aries, as at 1st of April, no planet in Aries. The Lord of Lagna, Aries, is in 2nd house, Mars. Now, when Lord of Lagna goes into 2nd house, it is kind of represented as an addition, kind of beneficial for the Lagna. It is a reasonable, favorable condition for the Lagna. And do we have any malefic aspect on Lagna? Well, we have the aspect of Ketu and Jupiter throughout the month of April. Now, Jupiter is definitely benefic aspect. Wherever it aspects, it is a beneficial aspect. Ketu, because Ketu is aspecting Lagna, Aries, without association of Rahu. There is no 7 mutual aspect. Rahu is not aspecting Aries. So therefore, Ketu in the vicinity of Jupiter will behave good. So therefore, I can conclude that throughout the month of April, on Lagna, you will have positive aspect without any malefic aspect. Therefore, Lagna Lord is in second house, kind of reasonable, good position. Lagna positive aspect. So Lagna becomes stronger. So when Lagna is stronger in any chart, right, in this case the Kalpurus chart, throughout the month, you can rest assured. If you stay focused, right, if you do not hurry, do not be impulsive, right, if you adhere to all those recommendations which I mentioned earlier, things will pass by. There's nothing to worry at this point in time because Lagna is in strength. Lagna has gained a good strength. But what is the caution? Now, if nothing comes easy. There's always a mutual self-balance in place. Let's look at second house. Why second house? Because second house, Lagna Lord is placed as per the natural zodiac, Mars. Second house represents your speech. When in the house of speech, Mars is posited, then there may be a possibility you will transition the path, or you will pass over the thin line between being assertive and between being aggressive. This is a thin line. Currently you will be assertive. If you cross the barrier and become assertive, it is because of Mars in second house, the house of speech. You also see, which is the significator of, before significator, because after 15th of April, Sun will transit from Pisces to Aries, Lagna. Now when Sun is posited in Lagna, right, then obviously Sun will be benefic because Jupiter will be aspecting Lagna and Ketu is benefic in this case. So you will feel, yes, I need to tread on the righteous path, but Sun will give you assertiveness as well, right? You feel if something is not happening good with you, you will kind of revert back to in your own way. Mars in second house, the house of speech, you may be aggressive along with Sun in Lagna, real aggressive. What is the significator of speech? Mercury, third house, Rahu is positive. Moon transiting during those 4 days, aggression can even be higher. Where is Mercury, by the way? Mercury will transit from Aquarius to Pisces on 14th of April. 11th to 14th of April. You can look at the date in ephemeris. As per the natural zodiac, Pisces is 12th house. 12th house position is not that great. Mercury in Pisces will be debilitated. So in second house, the significator, speech, Mars is there, Lagna Sun, and the significator of speech, Mercury, in 12th house and debilitated. You can really think that your speech may be impaired. So it is really important that you need to take care before you speak, think twice, thrice. Do not utter any word. Because whatever you say will not be liked by somebody and then it can disturb the equation. Now look at the Venus. Let me add flavor to this discussion. Venus, it will follow Mercury and it will move from Aquarius to Pisces around 14th of April. Yeah. Venus will be exalted in Pisces, but Venus is in 12th house as per natural zodiac. And as per the principles, for any planet which is exalted, its Mool Trikon house and the signification of those houses can go under toss. So for Venus, the Mool Trikon house is Libra. And as per the natural zodiac, Libra is in 7th house. What does 7th house represent? Your relationships. Not only with your spouse or your loved one, but with your business community. How you're being perceived by the business community. 7th house is 10th house from 10th, right? It is also linked with your profession. Therefore, when your 7th house, which is the Mool Trikon house of Libra, which is exalted, it will be adversely impacted again because of your speaking capabilities. Because your Mercury is in pressure, because the third house is there, Sun is Lagna, second house Mars. Now Libra is under pressure, so therefore again we come back to the same point that you need to speak measured words. So keeping in mind this month's, April month's transit, Rahu's position, Ketu's position, Jupiter's position, Saturn, and Mercury, Venus, and Moon position. Because Moon, when it is over Rahu, it can give you really psychological disturbance. I can call that term psycho-violence. So I've kind of penned a few thoughts, so I'll put an end to this video with those thoughts. The month of April will give you high without any booze, as you may be tempted for such an option to choose. Well, will it lead to any psycho-violence? Nah. As long as you exercise your option of silence.